5 minutes of racing here on the leg breaker.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Intelligentsia Cup 2023. I would say the highest level of crit racing in the country. It is always super humbling to go up against these national level guys. So the first thing I want to do is just, bam, here are the power numbers that I produced in this race, which might be surprising. Probably a lot of people listening to this can make that sort of power. 235 watts average, and I think the normalized power here, 323, was the highest normalized power for any of these crits in this 10-race series, and that's because of Leg Breaker Hill here on Stage 1, West Dundee. We're going to talk more about the course in a second, but really fast, the reason I want to start with the power numbers is I think a lot of people can make this power. I am by no means one of these specimens born with a high level of raw talent to push the pedals hard, and here's the secret. It doesn't require that much power. The things that are most important in crit racing aren't how much you can smash the pedals. Like, that's an awesome tool, and in very key moments, you need the power for success. I won't lie. But those key moments are like the sprint finish. It's like bridging to the breakaway. Those can be measured in seconds. The thing leading up to those key moments that make the most difference is how you handle your bike, pack dynamics, how you corner, how you can protect your position and your speed in order to turn 235 watts average into competing at a national level. So here's what I want to do for this series. I want to break down key moments in each race, things I did really well, things I did not so well, and I want to show things that will help you, whether you're just getting into this sport, you're a novice Cat 5, or you're a P1-2 trying to break into this national level scene, because these tips will help anybody and everybody. So without any further ado, let's just dive right into it. And we'll start with a couple of things I did okay. I wasn't great at it, but here we are finishing a lap. We're at the bottom of Leg Breaker Hill. It's actually not that big of a deal. Like, it sucks. You have to go over it. I don't know what it is. We're on it right now. See, I'm doing like 700-ish watts to get over, and I'm losing spots too. This just shows the class of the field that I'm in. But I'm okay losing spots on the hill. That's kind of one of my first tips here, is choose the places where you want to move up. The hill's probably not one of them. If everyone's doing 700, that means you have to do 1,000 to move up a few spots. Probably not the best place to move up. I found one of the best places to move up was actually right over the top of the hill. You know, you've done all this work. You've invested all this energy to carry your speed over the top. A lot of people just kind of got comfortable and sat in the wheels. And if you could just look, I'm doing just over 300 watts here, and I just passed maybe like 8 or 10 riders for just a very small cost and energy. And these are the small wins that you're looking for. It doesn't seem like much, but if you can just kind of chip away at it here and there and constantly improve your position, it's incredibly important. Let me explain why. I realize I didn't even talk about why it's important to improve your position, especially on a course like this. This is not a four-corner crit, you guys. This is a technical course with a hill, and there's not a lot of places to rest out here, which means people were dropping. I think we started with 100-plus riders. We finished with something around 30. So those riders got pulled, right? And at a certain point, they get pulled, and all the other riders behind them get pulled and DNF'd at the same time. So you can't get caught behind these splits. The other reason why you're trying to improve your position is crashes. Let's talk about corner number 3 on this course. Corner number 3 gave people a lot of problems. There's a high crown in the road. People were pedal striking. People were getting desperate, and that was causing a big problem. You know, the obvious thing about crashes is your safety. You don't want to get caught behind a crash and hurt yourself. The other reason is when there's a crash, there's a split. When there's a split, somebody's got to close a gap, and that could be the end of your race. So you can see here, somebody crashed in corner number 3, and I get around it, but like at what cost? I mean, see the gap, see the power I'm making. We all have to commit a bunch of energy to get in front of it. Meanwhile, the riders in front of that crash didn't even realize it happened. They continue riding at a slow, steady, and smooth pace, which is much more efficient. So why didn't I just get to the front, right? It seems so easy. I was one of those riders also struggling. Everyone wants to be at the front. Only a few riders can be at the front. And that's one of the things I did not do well in this race. I just was not aggressive enough. Again, this is not a local P1-2 race. You really have to fight for every position in every corner. And I guess that's a good time as any to talk about the teams. We had Legion. We had Blazers, Aviators, Project Echelon. We had international pro teams from New Zealand, from Germany, from Canada. So the field is stacked. You know, it's an absolute slugfest, and that's one of the reasons why this race was so fast. The breakaway just never quite got established. It never quite had the right mix. And for that reason, it was full gas from start to finish, and your boy struggled. That's one mistake I made in this race, is I should have really taking more aggressive lines. I should have committed more energy, get up towards the front early on, and not spend energy and time closing down these gaps towards the back, getting caught behind some of these crashes. And that brings us towards the end of this race. And let me tell you guys, I actually, my standard was pretty low. Every other year I've done Intelligentsia, I have been dropped on the first day. This is a higher level of racing, stronger teams. This is starting with arguably the hardest course in the entire series. So I was stoked just to be hanging on here in about 25th, 30th position, which is about how many races are left in this field. And one thing I did in order to make this possible in the second half of the race is something I think you guys can apply to your racing too, and that is tail gunning. Even on a hard course like this. I know earlier on I said it's probably not a good idea on a technical course, but later on, the dynamic of the race changed. This core group of 25 to 30 riders seemed to mellow out, and when I was towards the back here, you can see when I'm going down this hill, I don't need to fight tooth and nail for every single wheel because we're all going to get slammed into this really hard right-hand corner anyway. So I'm able to let this gap open up, and then I'm able to close it down as everyone else is slowing, and I get to rest for a little bit. That is an extra 5, 7, maybe even 10 seconds where I don't have to smash at 300 plus watts. I can recover more on the downhill. I can tuck a little bit, carry and preserve my speed into the bottom of this corner, and then just try to get a running start into the bottom of Leg Breaker Hill. But the problem is when I decided I'm going to give it another crack at moving up, it was already Legion was on the front, Blazers in their draft. Everyone's going Mach 17. Look how single file and strung out it is, and look where I'm at. Super hard to move up from this position. But I'll tell you what, stoked to finish and not get DNF, but definitely smacked in the face every single time I come out to Intelligentsia on that first stage, and I'm humbled. I'm reminded that this level of racing is above and beyond. It's like another category. There's local P1-2, and then there's national level racing. There's always somebody faster. We're always improving. So I encourage you guys to follow along. We're going to get better as we go through this series. Promise you that. And if you want to watch the full races, I'm going to post the entire unedited 75-minute races onto the second channel. I'll leave a link down in the description for that, so I encourage you to check that out. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.